We are going to cut over to Thomas Ian Nicholas on the phone, calling in right now. Thomas, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yo, what's going on, man? Welcome to the Cinescape.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you. We're excited to have you on here. I know we ran into some technical difficulties a couple weeks ago after we caught up with you at Comic-Con in Philly here. So I appreciate you bearing with us and coming back on and giving us a shot here. So let's start off. How's everything going since we last talked to you?
Everything's going good. I've got a few things are happening. Staying busy. Since Wizard World Philly, went and did another Wizard World in Sacramento a couple weeks after, which was super fun. And then just as we're out there on the Wizard World circuit.
Yeah.
Pre-selling or doing pre-orders for Handbook for Mortals, which is the book based upon my new film that I'll be shooting later this year that will be released next year. So the book comes out August 15th, but the film will come out in 2018.
Great. Is there a release date yet for that?
No, we don't have a release date for the film yet. Obviously, that will be, announced much later.
Yeah.
You can't tell someone now what date it's coming out in 2018. That's just way too soon.
Yeah, look at all the DC movies that keep getting their release dates changed.
Yeah, that's the thing is, obviously some of the bigger films will plan out when their release is, but you've got to kind of coordinate with everybody. Otherwise, you run up into competition on the weekend.
Absolutely. And I know we talked briefly at Comic-Con about the project Handbook for Mortals. Just give us a little insight into what that book is about, and our audience is definitely curious to see what that adventure is going to be looking like. Can you give us a little insight to that?
Yeah, it's sort of my revisit back to fantasy, being that the last time I did a fantasy movie was A Kid in King Arthur's Court with 007 and Rose from Titanic.
We remember that.
AKA Daniel Craig and Kate Winslet. But so this film is going to be a series of books and films, and it's kind of like Now You See Me meets Twilight, but instead of werewolves and vampires, it centers around real magic. So the storyline on a quick sort of quip is about a young woman named Zayd who moves to Las Vegas to join a big magic show, kind of like, think like David Copperfield. And she can do this really amazing illusion that she doesn't want to reveal her secret of, and it turns out she can do it because she actually knows how to do real magic. But the story itself centers on like the crew and sort of the behind the scenes, and like the technical director of the show and the music director both sort of are going after, trying to date Zayd. So there's kind of like remember like Team Jacob and Team Edward of Twilight. You got that like love triangle thing. Only, in that one, they were the ones with the superpowers, and the girl was normal and also not very confident. She was kind of just, a small personality.
Yeah.
And this.
Thomas, you there?
Thomas, do we have you back?
Yeah, I'm here.
Sorry about that. I thought we lost
It wouldn't be a show with you guys if we didn't have technical.
That's our rep now. You're gonna go around and be like, anybody else in Hollywood, you're gonna be like, listen, if Cinescape guys come up to you, listen, you'd just be bound for a lot of technical errors going on.
Yeah, our producer Mike
is
sweating bullets back
I can
here.
handle it.
These guys are amateur hour.
No. Come on now. Are you kidding? Where I live, for some reason, we don't have like the new fiber optic cables in the neighborhood, so I'm still running my internet on like copper wires.
You got got DSL out there.
You got the dial-up modem going.
Yeah, I'm still running DSL, dude. I'm stuck in the 90s. It's terrible.
It must take forever to watch porn.
I just stick to my phone. It looks better anyway.
Collecting those AOL fucking discs, the free month.
Thomas, you also have another movie that's currently in post-production right now that we have checked out the trailer for, Living Among Us. It's a really creepy, spooky-looking, like found footage documentary style type.
I dig it.
Movie that we're Bill and I are both really digging on. So can you talk a little bit about that one?
Yeah, for sure. I have another production company. I mean, I've been, obviously been acting for 30 years, and I've been producing films. I started producing films that I was acting in probably in the early 2000s was when I did my first one. So I have this other company called Red Compass Media, and we have 3 projects. And Brian Metcalf, who's my business partner for that one, the writer-director, I'm the producer-actor. He used to be the creative director for M. Night and for Tim Burton, and he wanted to break away and do his own thing. So the first one that we did was The Lost Tree, which will hopefully be coming out later this year or maybe even the beginning of next. We're just finalizing our distribution deal this month, and that's with Michael Madsen and Lacey Chabert. That's a drama thriller. But the one you're referring to is our second project, which is called Living Among Us. It's a found footage vampire movie starring William Sadler, John Hurd, James Russo, Esme Bianco from Game of Thrones, who I don't think ever really wore her clothes in season 2, and then and Andrew Keegan and myself. And so that one we're just finishing it up right now. We dropped the teaser trailer a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, we were.
And we already have like almost 700,000 views on it.
That's awesome. Yeah, because I think when we saw you at Comic-Con, you were right at the cusp of 500,000. So. That's
we had some slowdowns because we licensed this song for it, which is
Crystal Castles.
Robert Smith and Crystal Castles. So it's Robert Smith from The
Cure, yeah.
And so we licensed it, went down all the right paths from Sony, but then we got a dispute from Universal saying that they owned it, and we told YouTube, we're like, no, we licensed it from Sony. So then all of a sudden the lawyers started calling us for information, and Sony and Universal went into celebrity deathmatch. I don't know. So all our views got held up. We probably would have already broke 1 million in the first 5 days, but we got stalled a lot from all that BS.
Yeah, well, Sony and Universal, I mean, those two, studio-wise, are not doing very well. So to battle over petty licensing is it seems like the new excuse nowadays for them to recoup Spider-Man losses. So.
Well, it's one of those things where you're like, listen, it's YouTube. I'm not monetizing it for myself.
Yeah.
Shut up and just
push it through.
Take the royalties from YouTube.
Yeah.
Figure it out. Don't stall my views.
Yeah. And you know what? We were looking at this. We've watched this trailer several times actually, and sometimes I just listen. I turn it on just because the song is so catchy, and I never heard of Crystal Castles actually until this trailer. So I always love things that open me up to new music, and so I went back and listened to some of their tunes. But we're big Cure fans over here. We love them. So I mean, this the song I felt for me went really well with the trailer because it made me feel like like the movie had this a little bit of that Twilight type feel, but it actually had a little bit more of a Lost Boys type of feel to it, where it was this. Like the soundtrack, I don't know if the whole soundtrack's like that, but I mean, definitely the song, makes you feel like you're in this, a little bit of dramatic vampire movie, and, there's some creepy shit going on. Like the one guy's, his head just gets taken off randomly in the end of the trailer. But we liked seeing, some of the other actors that, we didn't expect. So seeing, William Sadler in there, and seeing John Hurd from Home
Dad
Alone,
from Home Alone, yeah, it's awesome.
pop up in there was pretty cool. How did you get it into that project? And have you always been into I know you talked about your interest for fantasy and stuff like that, but have you always been a horror genre type of guy?
I mean, I did, one of the Halloween movies
Resurrection.
back in the early 2000s, Resurrection. And so, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm an aficionado of the horror genre, but I have actually produced a few. It's basically Brian Metcalf's fault. because we did one in like 2009 with Brad Dourif called Fading Out of Cries. It was like a fantasy horror.
Okay.
And then, with, you know, like, yeah, anyway, it came out okay. And then obviously, you know, The Lost Tree is a drama thriller, but it tinges on a little bit of horror. And you mentioned like introducing songs. That teaser trailer, when we dropped it, did hit. We didn't have any license issues. We had a song from Birthday Massacre, which, quite honestly, I hadn't heard of them before, but it did the same sort of thing. So Brian's kind of the genius behind mashing up a song that doesn't really belong with, you know, visual images that are the antithesis, because I think it really captures your attention when something is like the opposite. You're like, wait a second.
Absolutely.
It's like that book in kindergarten. Like, one of these things doesn't look like the other.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that one got like 1.3 million views in like 10 days or something.
Wow.
And so in the film, it's a found footage style. And I say that because obviously you see all the notable actors in there.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like, we're not trying to pretend like this really happened. It's not like Blair Witch, but it's you know, using more of like J.J. Abrams and Cloverfield, where we've captured the style of that. And I always am a big fan of showing how actors do reality television better.
Yeah.
Because we actually act.
Yeah.
And it's not really reality anyway.
Exactly. So in the film, there's really not any music. I mean, the supposed vampires, you know, play like classical music around the house, which is kind of odd and creepy. And then there's one scene where we've got like this really sick license from Nine Inch Nails for the scene where like where all the gore happens, like the head that gets lobbed off, and the arm that gets taken off, all happens with Nine Inch Nails playing in the background.
That's solid.
Yeah, that's the way to do it, you know. Because when I listen to Nine Inch Nails, I definitely think of dismemberment.
Yeah.
It kind of actually reminds me of my best friend and lead guitarist in my band played this festival in Germany. And Nine Inch Nails showed up. They were the headliners, but I guess like something happened where the writer wasn't correct and they couldn't bring their lights in because they didn't have the proper power. So like Trent Reznor and the whole band were like pissed off. So they got on stage, and about 30 seconds into the first song, they just started destroying everything on stage.
Oh man.
As like, you know, vengeance, I guess, or revenge for the writer not being right. And my best friend said he was there, like, watching it live.
Oh,
I mean, there's YouTube videos of this. Like, you can see it. Like, just, like, shoves a guitar, like, right into the floor monitor in front of him and throwing stuff off the stage. It's insane.
Speaking of your band, we also wanted to talk to you about that. When we were going to have you on our show last time, on our way down here to the studio, we were pumping out a lot of your tunes and checking them out, and we both really dug it. Like, you have, like, this, like late 90s, early 2000s, like alt rock feel, which is like right in my wheelhouse, especially. Talk a little bit about your band and what you guys are doing this summer.
Yeah, I've been touring now and recording albums since 2008. I did some stuff before that, but you'll never hear it. And 2008 was when I finally like kind of found the sound and the songs that I was really proud of. So since that time, I've released 6 albums and played in various parts of the world. Not a lot, but you know, more than I thought I would get to. And we probably played over like 600 shows or something crazy like that. We probably only play like about 40 or 80 shows every year. But the new album that just dropped in February is called Frat Party. We thought it'd be fun, since we do all original stuff, like you said, in that late 90s, early 2000s vibe. We decided to kind of like do something fun, and we picked all of our favorite songs from the American Pie soundtracks and did an album with those songs. And we actually went into Dave Grohl's Studio 606 on the famous Neve console to record the album.
Oh, cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. Like I picked up a guitar and I asked the engineer, because I think like Dave was, you know, on vacation with his family during that time, so he didn't like stop by or anything. I still haven't met Dave, but did use all of his stuff.
There you go.
And I picked up this guitar and I asked the engineer, I'm like, whose guitar is that? He's like, oh yeah, it's Dave's. I was like, cool. So I'm pretty much going to record like every song with this guitar. Awesome.
Awesome.
You put your testicles on my drum kit. That sounds really awesome, and I really like the fact that you got a lot of stories about traveling with the band and stuff like that. We always love hearing real stories like that, and so with the new album and stuff like that, that's that's really awesome. And I think with Sean talking about some of the 90s, early 2000 bands, we were actually it spawned a conversation with us, and we kind of were thinking it made us reminisce about like what bands that we saw or we would want to see, and I'm kind of curious. So if you were to put yourself on, like back in like the 90s, 2000s, with a lineup with your band in it, like, who would you build your lineup around right now?
Oh man. I mean, back like when I first started even playing guitar and all that stuff, I mean, I started playing guitar around, like the whole grunge era.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like, there was, it was 5 albums that I owned, and that was, Nirvana, Nevermind,
right,
Green Day, Dookie, Blues Traveler, Hook, Weezer, the Blue Album, and then Spin Doctors. So those are like the 5 albums that I had in rotation. And when I first started like playing guitar, I would stay up late and like try to like play Polly by Nirvana,
yeah,
and like play and sing it, because someone told me like, if you want to sing like and play, you got to start it all at the beginning. And I've somewhere in my studio there is a cassette tape of me sounding like a dying animal with an out of tune guitar that is out of time. But that's what it takes. I mean, I loved it so much. Like I played like 3 hours every day for 2 years until I could like actually get something done. So in the beginning, it was just like a creative outlet. But since that time, I've gotten to, I've toured with Chris Barron from Spin Doctors. We did a tour in Germany and Denmark together, acoustic solo tour. And then every night he let me like come on stage and jam his like big song with him at the end of every show, which was amazing.
Which song was that?
What do you think the biggest Spin Doctors song is?
Two Princes.
Two Princes.
Of course. We even got to play it on television together in Denmark.
Oh wow,
cool.
Which is pretty rad. And so I like sang backups and like played like the first half of the lead line. He did the second half of the lead line because that was like beyond my capability. And then 2 years ago, my friend and business partner, Lanny Sarum, who I'm doing the Handbook for Mortals project with, that she, wrote it, and we're producing it together. She was managing Blues Traveler. And so she brought me in to write a song with Blues Traveler. They were doing this big collaboration album, and they did like collaborations with, like 13 different or like 12 different artists or whatever it was. So I got to write a song with Blues Traveler, and it made it on their last record, Blow Up the Moon.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was pretty awesome. Like, I'm essentially out of those like 5.
Yeah.
And then like, recording in Dave Grohl's studio kind of like maybe qualifies somewhere in that Nirvana realm. So pretty much I just got to like, we got to like do a show with like Green Day and Weezer, and I'll be set.
That's awesome that, not too many people would, have those opportunities, especially, like you're talking about how it just started as something as a creative outlet for you. And then, next thing you know, you're doing, 40 plus shows a year, and you're traveling, and then, you're writing songs, performing with some of these people that, you had on your, on your cassette deck back in the 90s. And, it's really, that's an awesome, experience to just have play out in your life. So
it's kind of like us right now getting to talk to somebody that we grew up watching in movies and interviewing on air.
Yeah.
Well, who's that? Who else is on the show?
It was
we got Macaulay Culkin on the other line.
Oh, cool! You can listen to his band, the Pizza Express or whatever they're called.
Pizza Express.
I don't know their pizza band.
A pizza.
Do you not know about this?
No.
So we play. Only reason I know about this is we play over in the UK. We do for a while we went over like 2-3 times a year. Now we just do like one annual like big tour in the fall.
Okay.
But we were playing a bunch of festivals over there. And we played this festival called Hit the Deck, and it happens in 2 cities, in Bristol and Nottingham. And so we're there with the promoter, and we had played it like the previous year. We opened up for Chris Rowe from the Ataris, and then the next year they like brought in the whole band and put us like on this stage that's on a boat, which is really awesome, called the Thekla. And so she was talking about how she hired Macaulay Culkin's band to like play this show. And we were like, my band and I looked at each other like, Macaulay Culkin has a band? She's like, yeah. So it's a total like it's a joke. So they call themselves the Pizza Band. They get up on stage and they all play like pizza boxes.
What the fuck?
And so they got booed off the stage in Bristol, I think. And she didn't know. She just was like, "Oh, it's Macaulay Culkin. He has a band. Like, da da da. Yeah, we'll hire him." And then that happened, and she was like, "Oh yeah, it was a disaster."
And that's great because British people, if you are throwing some kind of gimmick or stick at them, they don't care. They'll just, like you say, they'll boo you off the stage and go back to America.
At least Buckethead could actually play guitar. Thomas, while we still have you for another couple minutes, Bill has an interesting game that he wants to throw at you. Bill, I'm gonna let you take it away.
All right,
here.
so Thomas, obviously you're a Hollywood celebrity, and one thing, I don't know if you've ever thought about this, but your name is Thomas Ian Nicholas. You have 3 first names. I'm sure you're pretty aware of that, and I know you condense it to to Tin on your Twitter handle and stuff like that. But have you ever thought about where other actors or celebrities with 3 first names rank amongst yourself?
Like where they rank, like whether or not also actors from the 90s or serial killers.
John Wayne Bob, no,
John Casey.
Wayne Casey, yeah.
John Wayne Casey. But I was like, thinking, I'm like, there's a lot of actors and actresses with 3 first names.
Well, there's 3 of us just in the American Pie series.
That's true.
Sean William Scott, Eddie K. Thomas, and myself.
Yeah.
That's 3. Yeah,
Bill has a whole list of.
I got a whole list.
Read some of them off.
I'm gonna read some of these off, and you can give me if you have any personal experiences with these people or whatever. But we got the late Philip Seymour Hoffman. We got
amazing actor.
Yes, Jennifer Love Hewitt, which she certainly blossomed over the years. I mean, when
I did here, you want my Jennifer Love Hewitt story?
Yes, definitely.
So when I did Party of 5, I did a 9-episode arc opposite Lacey Chabert in the 5th season, the final season. And so I guess at that point, Jennifer Love Hewitt was already like filming her show. I can't remember what it was called. It was not
Ghost
the
Whisperer?
Ghost Whisperer. It's the one before that, I think. This is like 1999, 2000. Anyway, so she like came over to set to meet me, and then it ended up that I had like my brother's like mutual friends, like someone in her family, and I ended up at a party like a week later. So there was a moment in time where like I almost dated Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Whoa.
In like 1999, 2000, around that time. And then it ended because she gave me a bad tarot card reading, actually. Because I bring that up too, just because in Handbook for Mortals, it deals with like magic, and the young woman in it comes from a long line of magicians and tarot card readers. And so I don't know much about tarot reading. I just like knew that I got this tarot reading from Jennifer Love Hewitt, and shortly after, like, she didn't call me back. And so I was talking to Lanny about it, and I guess she misread the Fool card, because the Fool card doesn't necessarily mean like you're an idiot. It means something else. So like
you're a fool in love.
The Fool card is more of a clean slate.
It can mean like it's kind of like I actually don't even remember what it actually means. I just know like she pulled the Fool card on me and like was like, oh, you're a fool, and like I'm not going to date you.
Oh man.
And but like it's like different like tarot cards, like the like if you get the death card, it doesn't mean you're gonna die.
Right.
It means like new beginnings too.
Right.
It can also mean like the opposite, I guess. So anyway, that's my Jennifer Love Hewitt story.
Well,
I almost dated her until a bad tarot card reading that she
So
misinterpreted.
She sucks at tarot card reading, so
We'll say it's her loss.
it was a phase for her, you know. She was probably like in Hollywood,
She's
you know,
experimenting at the time.
somebody just got her like a tarot card deck, and she was probably, you know, being, you know, sucked into the Hollywood life and, you know, all those alternative, you know, ways of doing things, and she was like, probably it was her thing, and you were her first experiment, and you know, now you know she just sucks at tarot card reading. So
you know, we're gonna get her on the show next
time. The fool
time.
card basically just means like change. So she thought like it meant that I was an idiot, and all it really meant was like there was a change about to happen, and that change probably was dating Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Yeah, I think so. Oh man, Billy,
fool me once, shame on you. So we also got Jamie Lee Curtis. We got
oh, she's awesome,
right? I mean,
yeah.
I mean, I can't say how many times we've probably drooled over her body in True Lies, but you know.
Well, she's just a sweetheart too. Like
you've met her.
Her whole story. Yeah, well,
Halloween
yeah,
Resurrection.
yeah, well, yeah. I you know, sometimes they
we
don't
were there.
mingle.
I mean, on set, you know, the first day, like she worked only one day. I guess she didn't want to continue doing the Halloween series, so she basically agreed to do Resurrection as long as they killed off her character. But she was only working for one day, and then she bought like a wrap gift for like all the cast and all the crew.
Oh, wow.
Which is typically like the producer's responsibility. It's not an actor's responsibility, but it just goes to show like her thoughtfulness. And I still have it. It's a little Leatherman pocket knife, and she jokingly called Halloween Resurrection. She was like, "It's the sequel to H2O, so it's H2K1." So on the Leatherman it says, you know, H2K1 XOXO, you know, JLC.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
I've had a crush on her ever since I was a little kid and first saw her in Trading Places.
Oh yeah, she played the prostitute.
I still have
in
a
Trading
crush on her
Places.
to this day.
Yeah. She is somebody that's just, you know, ageless and timeless, classy.
And she just keeps on looking knockout as she gets older. It's just
that's that Activia.
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 Gotta
Is
invest
she
in
on an
some
Activia commercial?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing. Well, that was smart of them.
Yeah, right.
Well, you know, this next person I'm going to name is the exact opposite of Jamie Lee Curtis. Haley Joel Osment.
Oh man,
What the hell happened to that guy?
Yeah, he is in the new season of Silicon Valley right now, and he's hysterical on that show.
Well, I guess, you know, something has an
He was in
upset
that Kevin Smith Walrus.
Yeah, Tusk.
Tusk. There you go.
He looks like a walrus. Got
we won't be having Haley Joel Osment on the show anytime soon.
I mean, yeah, I was going to say, like, you're pretty much just, like, blowing any chance of having any
Thanks a lot,
interviews
Bill.
with Haley.
Well, you know, we also, you know, plan on never having Norman Reedus on the show and or Ron Perlman. I don't like these guys. I've never met them, but they just, I don't know.
He doesn't
you know,
like their work.
Dude, they're... Oh, okay. Well, Ron's, like, the nicest dude ever.
I know, and
I see him at cons all the time, but you mean, like, the characters he plays. You don't like him.
Yeah, I'm just like, you know, I don't, I'm like, I'm sure he's the nicest guy ever, and I would just ask him, you know, why did you make Police Academy 7? But, you know, I'm sure he probably is wondering the same thing, but, you know, I don't know. It's just, the characters and stuff like that, they really make me hate, you know, the person themselves.
That's called doing a good job.
Yes.
That means he's a nice guy who's also a talented actor. If he can make you hate him.
I know.
That's true.
Well, maybe I do need to have him on the show.
All right, let's get him on here.
Let's get him on. Just wrap this up. So, you know, we got Sarah Jessica Parker, also known as Horseface amongst the internet. Sarah Michelle Gellar. Did you ever meet her? You know, she was like kind of like in the same, you know, teen club back in the day.
Sarah Michelle Gellar, is that?
She was also in I Know You Did Last Time.
Yeah, the Buffy girl.
Yeah, so she was like on the show with Allison Hannigan.
Right,
Yes.
right.
Yeah, I've not met her. She started a rumor about me.
That
but
bitch.
that
What
was
did she say?
yeah, like in the early 2000s. I don't know why. I guess it's because she worked with Allison. You know, she basically like started a rumor about me that I was a Bible beater.
A Bible beater? What?
Like a really religious person?
Oh,
Yeah. It's cause when I did American Pie,
yeah.
I think like I did this interview. See, like for me, I had my first band prior to the Thomas Nicholas band was the Tin Men, which was like a Christian rock band.
Okay.
And so, you know, I was like 16, 17. You know, when you're that age and you like discover, you know, something, you like get overly excited about it and you're like overly, you know, zealous.
Right.
So during that time frame, I was a little overzealous about it, but I mean, I still did American Pie, so
it 8 out Tara Reid.
I was, you know, I wasn't like I had well, there's so many things I could say, but I wasn't overzealous. I was just excited about, you know, that time in my life. Anyway, we did this Rolling Stone article for the whole cast when the first film came out. And man, they twisted us around. Like if you read it, it basically like misrepresents all of us.
Yeah.
But the guy that did the interviews was so like slick and so like friendly, you know. I mean, he left out the fact that like I was drinking a beer during the interview, you know, but like made it all sound like I was just like this crazy, like overzealous person. So there was some other things that happened, I guess, with Allison that then maybe Sarah Michelle Gellar started this rumor about me, but I've never even met her, so I don't know.
Oh. Catty bitch.
You can cross her off our list too.
All right,
you just made the list.
She's off the list.
Maybe she's right. Maybe I am a Bible beater. In fact, guys, the reason I really came on this show is I wanted to talk to you about Philly Jesus.
Okay. Did you see him while you were here?
Dude, I got pictures with him. Of course I saw.
Nice.
That's awesome.
He stopped by my booth every day.
Awesome.
Philly Jesus. You know, I mean, if there's any, you know, one thing that, you know, keeps you coming back to Philly, it's Philly Jesus. You know?
Yes, also known as Michael. We have a Hollywood Jesus. His name's Kevin.
Okay, interesting. Maybe one day, you know, there will actually be, you know, another towny Jesus, but he'll actually just be Jesus, you know? Like, hey,
he actually asked me for like advice on like how to pursue his career. I was like, dude, you're Jesus. You don't need my advice.
Ask your dad.
Yeah. Like, you know, you can walk
away. Well, he's kind of tough, you know.
Yeah. What was his aspiring career, if we can ask?
Yeah, I mean, just, you know, he wanted like acting advice. And then I just kind of said, you know, you've already got a thing going. You should just, like, push that farther. You're already committed.
Yeah.
There's plenty of whack jobs out there who'll follow him around.
Totally. I just said, you know, I was like, yeah, I got a YouTube channel. I was like, then you're already on it. You're good.
Yeah.
Just keep going.
That's awesome.
Thomas, we are going to let you go. I'm sure you guys have something going on this afternoon, but what are you doing this summer, band-wise, con-wise, and where can everybody find you?
Well, you know, as I mentioned, Handbook for Mortals comes out. The book, based upon the film, will be released August 15th. We're doing pre-orders for the book exclusively at Wizard World, so we'll be at Wizard World Columbus, August 4th, 5th, and 6th, and then the book comes out on the 15th and will be at Wizard World Chicago at the end of August. What other things are going on? I'm next Friday. I'm going. You guys know who Doug Jones is? It's kind of a character actor that always gets like dressed up in crazy costumes. He did this Nosferatu remake. So I'm going to do like a little cameo role in the Nosferatu
there he is.
remake.
Yeah, Doug Jones. Yeah, he played Silver Surfer in you know, Fantastic Four, and No, he's I've seen him in a ton of stuff. Okay.
Yeah, he was in Hellboy with your favorite guy, Ron Perlman.
He's in Star Trek Discovery too.
Yeah,
we were just talking about that.
Yeah, so I'm going to do that, and then my band. We've got a tour in the Midwest at the beginning of August. So we already played, you know, close by to Philly, but you know,
right,
hopefully
we'll
be back again, maybe at the end of the year or the beginning of next.
Yeah, let us know so we can be there.
You missed us. We were in Sewell, New Jersey.
Yeah, it's not too far
at
from
Otts.
Yeah, but when we come back, I think I want to play a gig at Milk Boy.
Where's that at?
It's in Philly. It was like literally walking distance from the convention center.
Yeah,
okay.
I've heard of that before.
Yeah, it's about a block from what's that one theater? Not the
Trocadero?
Trocadero.
Yeah.
About a block from the track.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super fun spot. Great people. We met the owners there and like hung out with them the first night that I was in Philly for the Philly Wizard World.
Yeah, there's
but yeah, so we're doing a tour. I'm going back. I'm throwing out the first pitch and singing the 7th inning stretch for the Cubs on August 16th.
Are you going to be wearing the Henry Rowengartner jersey?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's so you saw the Rowengartner jersey that I had, displayed at Philly Wizard World. For the longest time, in 2008, I started doing this, and they always bring me up a jersey with Nicholas, and then it's 24 years now. At the 20th anniversary, for fun, I said, hey, why don't you guys print me up a Rowengartner one? And so I ended up auctioning off for charity and raising, money for a good cause. So since that time, I realized, like, I can raise more money for a good cause if I have them print Rowengartner, so I just do that so I auction them off every year.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's really good.
So, it's not my name, but, whatever. I'm okay with it. I'm a good sport about it. If it means I raise more money for kids, then, and I usually do, like, children's hospitals or, children's charities and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Rookie of the Year was just on TV the other day. I was watching. I took a picture of my screen and tweeted it at you, actually.
Nice.
All right. Well, Thomas, we wanted to thank you so much for calling in today. We will make sure that we share out all of your information on all of our social media sites. And
we got to get you back on again soon. All right, Thomas?
Yeah, man. Well, next time I get my gig booked out there, I'll hit you guys up and we'll do a little pre-Philly interview.
Absolutely,
sounds
yeah.
awesome.
We'll do it right.
Cool.
All right, thanks for
thanks
joining
a lot,
us,
bud.
man. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah, man. You guys too.
All right, take care.
All right. Bye.